This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. You're tuned into the TCSF podcast with Big Z in the house. We got JC, Dynasty Fantasy Football, and we are coming to you straight from the 606 Media Studios, powered by True Chicago Sports Fans. This is episode 278. Chicago Bears never quit, baby. Remember, 606 Media is your ultimate source for all things Chicago. Don't forget to swing by 606media.com to snag your official podcast t-shirt and check out our exclusive for the love of sports merchandise line. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, everywhere else, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, go ahead and do that, and then hit the bell button so you can get notifications every time we go live. And if you're on your favorite podcast app, go ahead and give us 5-star, drop some comments in there, make sure they're kind, and it'll shoot us up on the charts and keep us relevant. And if you're looking for more ways to get involved, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans, and as little as 99 cents a month. Keeps the conversation going. While you're here, we have 606, and check out In Podscape with Big Z. We've got 10 episodes up there. I am going to start editing the ones I did over the summer. I got 2 in the can, and I got some interviews lined up for Christmas break, and hopefully I can get those out to you. It's just been so busy with the Bears season. I've been slammed with that. You can also check out No Water on the Weekend with Steven and Sean, a pop culture funny podcast. They just had an episode on Saturday, I believe. So you can check that out over at 606media.com or just go to the official YouTube page. All right, this week we're going to talk about this Chicago victory. I'm stumbling here because I'm tired. It was a long night with Ivan. Chicago's Bears victory. It was a huge win. The Bears definitely dominated the Browns. The Browns browned their pants. They won 31-3. And
Ivan Vargas.
what is that? That's Ivan right there. That's Ivan right there. What's up, brother? You're on air.
Bro, car fucking stopped in the middle of the street.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm a little bit from the house, but yeah, so that's what's happening right now.
All right, brother. Well, we hope you get home safe, brother.
Yeah, I'm close, but I'll try to jump on for a second once I get back there. So.
All right, sounds good, brother.
All right, later.
Well, there's Ivan. Were you able to hear that, JC?
Yes, yeah, it actually came straight through. That was very interesting. We have a live guest on air.
You don't know what's gonna happen, man. Stay tuned, man. Anything can happen. Yeah, again, the Bears won 31-3 over the Browns with a cold Sunday. It's at Soldier Field. Calebwilliams was 17 for 28, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, was sacked only 3 times for a rating of 112.5. DeAndre Swift led the carries with 18 with 98 yards. He had 2 TDs. Common Unguy 11 for 33. Calebwilliams only ran 3 times for 13 yards. And receiving it was Burden with 6 receptions, 84 yards. DJ Moore 4 for 69. He also had 2 touchdowns. Loveland 4 catches for 63. Cole Kmet 2 for 28. And then the defense, man, the defense. CJ Gardner-Johnson with 1 interception. DeMarco Jackson with another interception. Jalen Johnson with 1 himself. It was great. It was a great game, man. JC, what did you think of the game?
I'm going to be completely 100% honest. I was at work and I only got to see what I could when I was on breaks and lunches.
You can't put the radio into one of the earbuds?
I was on the floor and doing some forklift training for some new employees that want to learn how to drive a forklift. So I had to give them most of my attention.
Boo.
But I mean, let's be honest. The one thing, let's talk about it. Luther Burden stepping up, looking like he is going to be a great player for us, coming next season. 6 for 84. That's what I've been looking for, receptions this year. As you go down the list, yes, DJ Moore only had 4 receptions, but they were for 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. And we keep talking about this, where, when I look at the box score, you go look at some other teams and it's like, okay, this guy had 7 receptions. This guy had 6 receptions. This guy had 5 receptions. You know what I mean? And then you come look at the Bears and it's like, this guy had 3, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I understand the Bears right now, they are a run first team.
They are a run first team, yeah. Mm-hmm.
However, like, we spent a first round draft pick on Calebwilliams. He is supposed to be the next great thing. And frankly, Bo Nix, Drake May, and some of these guys are looking way more polished, way better at being a quarterback right now than Calebwilliams. I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, he's got to unlearn a whole system. And
okay, is Drake May not under a new head coach?
Yeah, you do have a point there. I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe they're
Bo Nix is under the same coach, and
right.
He's a year or 2 under the system. But Drake May is, he didn't have, I'm trying to think of the old offensive coordinator under Tom Brady, who absolutely blew up the Denver Broncos. I can't think of his name, but again,
I'm looking at Drake May's last game: 155 yards, 0 touchdown, 1 interception.
But there's talks that MVP.
No,
around his yes, there is talks of MVP May out there. Now, I'm not saying he's going to, but there are talks about it.
I mean, he is averaging about 240 yards a game, 250 yards a game, but he had a good run from in October through the second week of November where he had at least 2 touchdowns, a couple games with 3.
Okay. Name any of his wide receivers. Do me a favor, name one.
I'm not watching the East, man. I am not watching the East. I'm surprised that they lost 2 games, I think. What are they?
Well, my point is he's doing more with less. Like, we have DJ Moore. We spent a top 10 pick on Rome Odunze, which I understand Rome is out right now. Colson Loveland is a
also have a coach who's a rookie. Both of those other coaches have been coaches and coaches of the years. So
I'm just stating I need to see more out of the passing game. I am over the moon about the running game, right? Between Swift and Kyle Monangai, we are crushing it in the way of the run game. Our offensive line, that is a strong suit. And I understand this is Bears football, baby. Like, we want to run it down people's throat and control the time of clock and everything else. But again, it's just a little like 17 of 28. Like, I would like to see him 21 of 28. You know what I mean? It's just the little things.
Some of those are not his fault. Some of those, I mean, they drop passes, man.
We've been talking about that all year, that they've been dropping passes. I'm not disagreeing. But are there times where he is off on his throws, that, he is missing guys by 3-4 yards? When we did the live event and I was there with you, there was a play where Luther Burden turned around. He was literally about 7 yards upfield, turned around, and Caleb missed him by about 4 yards.
Yeah. That's going to happen. Every quarterback does that, man. Every quarterback has missteps and bad throws. I'm not trying to make excuses for the kid. He's had some bad games, but you have seen some progression out of him. You've definitely seen some progression. You've seen his maturity come through. Look,
listen, I've been the first person to say that over Justin Fields, over oh my God, who's the quarterback out of North Carolina? Why can I not think of his name? That's backed up.
Trubisky.
Yeah, Trubisky. Or as I used to call him, Turd Biscuit.
Turd Biscuit.
Like I said, you can see blatantly that Caleb can read a defense. Caleb can make progressive reads, which Justin Fields, we talked about how many times that he would lock on a wide receiver, and if that guy wasn't there, he ran. Period. End of story. He could not progress in his reads. Caleb, he can progress. He can make his reads. The problem I have is again, it's the consistency in his throwing motion. His feet are not always set in the proper stance. Sometimes his feet are literally parallel to each other. Throwing off, not even throwing off his back foot, like throwing off of, almost like you remember the baseball warm-ups where you stand square and you would have to rotate your shoulders and throw?
Yes.
Like that's how I watch him throw like that at least 4 to 5 times a game.
And so does Patrick Mahomes, and everyone's on his nuts.
Yeah. Are they on his nuts this year?
No, he's in a hospital right now, so there's no nuts.
No, Pat Mahomes is having a very down year this year.
Yeah, down to the hospital. He's got ACLs done.
Yeah.
Cooked.
Oh, well, we're going to talk about some ACL injuries here in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to those. Yeah.
But the bottom line is, like I said, I would like to see the numbers, for our guys just get a little better. Like again, Luther Burden having 6 catches, great. I'd love to see DJ Moore at 6. I'd love to see Loveland at 4 to 6. You know what I mean? Like I said, some of these other guys, whatever. Like I said, the fact that OZ is still seeing the field, is that because Rome's hurt? Yes. But I mean, I'm sorry. Like, how many times has OZ had the ball hit him in the hands and it's oops?
Yeah.
Like, to me, like OZ needs to just go sit on the bench and stay there. Sounds like Tremaine Edmonds is going to be back, or Tremaine Edmonds. He's being activated. So it sounds like we're going to have him back this week for Green Bay. That's going to be huge. Jackson, who has filled in very admirably. In the way of linebacking core. I think he had another 15 tackle game this week. Let's pull that up. Defense. Yeah, it's not even showing me the proper
defense. We're looking for tackles.
Yeah, but he's there. We go.
DeMarco Jackson had 2 tackles and 5 assists.
Okay, so it was 15 fantasy points that popped up.
The interception.
Yeah, so he had 7 tackle assists, interception, and a sack, which I believe it was his first sack of his career. So, hey, why not? I mean, you're going against the lowly Browns with, Shedeur Sanders trying to do his best, but, he did not fare very well.
No, he did not fare very well. I mean, they had 142 total passing yards. We shut down the run. They only had 50. Yards per play was 3.4 for them. We had 5.6. Their down efficiency is where I want to talk about, where we lacked. It was 5 for 13. You do that against one of the good teams, which is Green Bay. You talk about San Francisco. You do the Lions, or if you even get to the playoffs, you do that with the Rams. You're going to get destroyed. 5 for 13 is pathetic. Missing kicks. Cairo effing Santos. We should have kept the other kicker. He could have just released Cairo and got the other kicker, because he can't hit anything over 40 yards. And that was the thing, is that wasn't even a 40-yard long field goal. It was a short one, and he missed it.
No comment.
Done with
no
this.
Comment.
Yeah, I know.
I've talked about Cairo Santos for 2 or 3 years now. I'm blue in the face about talking about how much I dislike him as a kicker. You know what? I'm sorry. In a windy Soldier Field, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Thanks, Ron, for checking in with us. So there's a lot that they can fix. I did like that they ran the ball a lot more, giving us a time possession of 32-52. We've been saying that all season. Run the rock. You take the ball away from them. You don't allow them to get into rhythm because you have the ball. You don't allow them to do anything. You take your time. You get your first downs. Continue to get first downs. I know we had 21 to their 9, but I would love for them to just mow down a good sustained amount, like take most of the first quarter just to mold them down and get them tired, and then score, and then have your defense come back and give you the ball in a short field and then score. That's what we need to do. And we did see a little bit of that with the 31-33 final. I love that we scored twice in the first quarter for once where we were ahead. Didn't like that we didn't score in the second quarter. I don't even remember the second quarter that much. I just remember that we just couldn't get into the end zone. And then again, third quarter, you come out, we got 14 points. They only get 3. And then in the fourth quarter, it's like we just went into cruise control because we were up already 28. No need to get anybody hurt. And they were doing that. So definitely a game to remember. Let's bring Ivan from the Tape Never Lies. Let's bring him in. And there he is.
Oh, you brought me on?
We brought you on, brother. We brought you on.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you have a hangover?
Did I have a hangover?
Yeah.
Yes. But is that why I'm pissed off right now? No.
No. Okay. Just checking on your welfare.
No, it was, trust me, we got to have some rules for me and Jose. Like both, not just one, both of us need some rules. Somebody needs to just.
So we need somebody to wrangle us in because, man.
Quite honestly, look, we had a blast. The Bears are whooping ass. It didn't affect anything. It was just like after the fact, after everything was said and done, we were a little shit-faced. So that's what it is.
Oh, man.
I'm glad you guys called me and told me about the Santa hats, douches.
I don't have a Santa hat.
Thanks. I'm the awkward one, just with nothing. Thanks.
I just have
your bald head.
I know, just my bald head. That's it.
I like staying warm. What can I say, man? I like to stay warm.
And I was feeling festive.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we just kind of wrapped up what was good about it, but we want to, actually point out there's some deficiencies that we needed to talk about, right? Third down efficiency was 5 for 13. The kicking game, the special teams was actually pretty good this week. Penalties 4 for 25, and then and allowing them to get what was I going to say? Allowing them to get 192 yards passing. I thought we could have done better, even though we did have takeaways and sacks.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that has plagued the chunk plays, right? Where teams get these big chunk plays when the defense and for the Chicago Bears is in a favorable position, right? These third and longs, third down in general, second and longs. Like there's always seems to be a guy open for the opposition that ends up, getting a big chunk of first down where they shouldn't have when we had them beat or we had them, should have been off the field. They go ahead and they make a big play. Those things still bother me. I guess we could criticize the pass rush still, even though they had a decent day with 3 sacks, I believe 2.
We had a total of 5 sacks.
5 sacks. Okay, great day. But like again, you see when it's clear third downs or clear downs where you got to pass, there's still that element of it's blocked up, even if you're sending extra guys, right? There's an element of the front 4 can't do it by themselves. So that still bothers me because, again, I told like Spencer Rattler, Shador, anybody, you got fucking time back there to throw, they're going to find their guys. And that to me is something that just still, it's not going to change this year, but we have to find a way going into this last, 3-game set, into the playoffs, how to generate it with 4. It's hard to see it happening though.
Yeah. As far as I know JC was talking about that Caleb needs to be a little bit better, is more consistent. I thought he had a pretty decent game. As usual, there were some drops by the wide receivers. Even though what he did do at the end was pretty heroic, throwing a DJ Moore in between 2 defenders. I know he was asked about making a hard throw. He said, I can make any throw. and we didn't see that during the Packers game. He didn't make that throw, so he's gonna have to overcome these adversity, these games of adversity.
Yeah, it's for Caleb, and I think what he obviously needs to overcome, but it's going to come with time, is just the consistency of his mechanics, right? Talking about feet placement, we're talking about just continue to polish up the mechanics of being a quarterback, and I think you'll begin to see cleaner passes, more accurate passes, hitting the open guys. I believe you'll see that. But again, we were, and I had to go back to last year, but it's like that stuff should have been implemented. That should have been being pushed on Caleb to get himself prepared for his future. But we know the ineptitude of that regime, and they weren't holding anybody accountable, weren't doing the most to get Caleb's talent to where it needs to be. It frustrates me, but again, Caleb's got a guy now in Ben Johnson. He's been working his ass off. That's all they talk about with Caleb. He's doing the things that you want a franchise quarterback to do in order to get himself prepared to win.
Again, it was a good win. It's nice to blow someone out. But as we celebrate this win, all we're doing is thinking about this Saturday, prime time, where we have our rematch against the Green Bay Packers. And if you don't remember, Caleb Williams was 19 for 35 with 186, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception coming in late. That sealed the game. How do we get Caleb to have another performance like we just did this game instead of having a 19 for 35? We want, where JC said, I want over 20 for 24, 20 for 27. How do we get that?
Are you asking me or JC?
Anybody, jump in.
Oh, the same thing I said. Just, it's got to be polished up, right? And the only way you could work on things is in the off season. It's kind of hard to go ahead and work on, footwork accuracy and all that. I mean, it as a complete focus. I mean, right? You could obviously fix some things here and there, but as a complete focus, we'll have to just wait for the off season. And again, if he continues to have this type of mentality where it's like, we got to be better, I got to be better, we got to get, better, then there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to go this offseason and find and prepare himself for next season. And if whether that's bringing out some of the guys, some of the wideouts, the tight ends, whatever, find a way to be better. And I believe he will.
Go ahead, JC.
Yeah, I mean, Ivan, before you came on, like I was just talking about, a lot of times Caleb, when he's in his process of throwing, like his feet are out of position rather than being in like a stretch position, like a pitcher, he ends up almost in, like if you remember the drill, like in baseball, where your feet are planted, you're facing straight ahead to your partner, and you have to rotate your shoulders to throw the ball. Yeah. Like that is like at least 4 to 5 times a game I catch him in that position throwing the balls. And a lot of times, again, that is not proper, form to throw a football.
Sounds like a guy that like really trusts his arm because of the strength. You know what I mean? Like where I could say flat-footed and still zip it in there. Like that kind of gunslinger mentality.
Yeah, but the problem is his completion percentage is in the lower 60s and in the 50s. Yeah, I mean, and Ben Johnson, one of the things he said is that he needs Caleb to be in the 70s. And again, we can't put it all on Caleb because we have wide receivers that are dropping the ball right now. But that is one thing. Like in the off season, I hope Caleb goes into the lab and really works on his footwork, because that's one thing that Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and some of these guys, even up until the year they retired, they consistently worked on their footwork. And as you get older and slower and can't run the ball, it's even more important to have the proper footwork and know how to shuffle in the pocket. But that said, I'm willing to put my focus now on the Packers. And I have a little story for you guys, and I'll let you guys determine live on air what you think about what happened. So obviously over the weekend, Micah Parsons tore his ACL. So I, in a group chat with some of my friends, wrote, "Hey boys, Micah Parsons hurt his knee. We have a chance to roll the Green Bay Packers." One of my buddies, who happens to be a Green Bay Packer fan, comes and says, "Yo, that's Bush League celebrating an injury." First off, I wasn't celebrating an injury. I was stating a fact. Micah Parsons hurt his knee. Now we have a chance to roll the Green Bay Packers. I was not celebrating anyone's injury, but it really ticked me off that it's like, dude, if Roma Dunze's out next week, you're going to be the first person celebrating that we don't have our number one wide receiver. So shut the up and shove it up your, because you know what? I'm sorry. Like, you know what? I put it out there as a fact, as a statement, like, oh my God, Micah Parsons hurt his knee. Holy shit. Like that's, and again, we all know the implications. Like Micah Parsons is a freaking monster. All right. He is a fantastic pass rusher and he wreaked havoc on us 2 weeks ago. However, the way I stated it was not a, oh yeah, like fuck him. Like, yeah, I'm so glad he injured himself. No, that's not what I was saying.
You weren't gloating.
No, it was a simple statement of the fact. Hey, Micah Parsons hurt himself and we now have a chance. Like, again, like the guy's not going to be there to disrupt like he had the first game. Yeah. So to me, like this is like the best chance we have at rolling these guys. But that said, I went ahead and deleted myself out of that group chat, removed myself from the conversation because it's like I don't want to be in a conversation with a miserable ass person. So see ya.
I mean it's unfortunate, right? For Micah Parsons. I mean, he's a fantastic player, right? But like you said, you take that, he's the X factor, right? He was the reason they got him was because they feel like they were going to go to the Super Bowl. They feel like they had a team to go to the Super Bowl. Now you take that X factor out, and it's exactly what you say, JC. It's like, who are you scared of? I mean, you still got Rashawn Gary, right? But who are you scared? Like Micah Parsons was the boogeyman.
Yeah.
And now the boogeyman's gone.
He is the game wrecker. He is the guy that you got to put two people on and make sure at all times that he's not wrecking the game. Again, you sit here and look, I'm looking at the Packers, box score versus the Broncos. And it's one of those where it's like, none of their wide receivers scare me. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
Is Watson out too? I think Watson's out too.
I'm not sure about Watson. I believe I heard like 2 or 3 of their starters got hurt over the weekend, but the only one I really knew about was Parsons.
Parsons, Tom, Watson, and I believe Evan Williams, the safety.
So he got a chest injury. It's not a major injury. He can still play against the Bears, but it won't be determined till probably game time.
Like I said, I mean, Christian Watson coming back has improved their offense. I will say that the offense has looked better with him in, and that's potentially because he is a field stretcher. Matthew Golden had 3 catches for 55 yards. So, their first round pick is finally making some noise. But again, I really feel that without Micah Parsons there, the run game potentially of the Bears can set a tone. And that's really what we need. Yes, in the first game, Green Bay, they had some splash plays with Bo Melton and some of those guys that exposed our secondary. Like, we have to have that cleaned up. We cannot have any big plays given up. If we're going to control the clock and run the ball, we cannot allow them to have a 40-yard touchdown in a 15-second play.
Yeah, you can't allow Jordan Love to break free and get first downs. You can't allow him to have all that time back there. He's going to eat you up. He's a veteran. He can do what he needs to do to get his team into contention and be able to put some points on the board. So again, like Christian Watson, it looks like it's a shoulder injury. It says the pain was radiating to his chest, and that's why you have to get an MRI just to rule everything out. But Bo Milton, Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave, again, all formidable players there. And then you have Josh Jacobs, who can run the ball, and then obviously Jordan Love. So it's not going to be a walk in the park, guys. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Would I love it to be another blowout? Yes, I would love that. But I don't think it's going to be another dog fight. I think the Bears are going to be amped up to be playing them at home and trying to get that revenge win. They get this win, they're more than like 90% to get to the playoffs, right? You knock out the Packers and they take a win, and let's say either San Fran or Detroit loses, and then you're automatically in.
Yeah, this is a must-win game. If we don't, then it's going to come down to the final week going against the Lions, and that is not something I want to have happen. You know, the way the Lions are playing, they're still playing fantastic football. To put ourselves in risk of, you know, falling further back to third in the division from first in a 3-week period. Like I said, this is more than any Bears fan expected. Let's put it that way. Like, you know, I mean, if you came to me and said, hey, we're going to go from last to first in the division, I probably would have been like, yeah, maybe year 2, not year 1. So again, we're playing with house money here, but again, I don't want it to come down to us facing the Lions to make it to the playoffs, because
the Lions lost.
It's going to be a good look. The
Lions just lost to the Rams, who are
I understand, but it was still a competitive game against the Rams.
Right. I get that, but you know, in my opinion, let's just take care of the game we got in front of, which is going to be Green Bay. Take care of business there, and let the chips fall where they may. Again, get into 11 wins after having a 4-win season. Maybe it's not playing with house money anymore. Now you're playing with some skill, and you're learning how to play the game. You learn how to, let me double down now. Let me split the aces. You're seeing a little bit more of that, where this team went from, hey, these are some lucky bounces, now to like, hey, he said when they were 0-2, we're going to be playing our best football in December. And Ben Johnson predicted they're playing their best football in December. So, in my opinion, let's go. Let's get these wins. Take these wins one at a time. You can only play who's in front of you. Let's not worry about all the noise for the other games. Take care of the Packers this Saturday, 7 p.m. or 7:25, whatever it may be, and get this W, man. Get this W. All right, let's take a quick break. On the flip side of the break, we'll do a Madhouse on Madison report, a very quick one, because there's not much to report because these teams suck. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey there, Chicago enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your fandom to the next level? The True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast has got you covered with some serious cool merch that screams Chicago pride. From cozy sweaters to trendy tank tops, we got it all. Show off your love for the city with our iconic red, white, and blue logo, or stand out with our exclusive collection for the love of sports. Whether you're lounging at home, breaking a sweat at the gym, or cheering on your team at a game, our gear is a must-have for all you diehard Chicago sports fans out there. Don't hesitate. Visit bonfire.com/store/606-media-store/, or simply just click the link in the description and snag your gear ASAP. Get ready to make some noise, show your pride, and embrace the Chicago spirit with True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast merch. Designed for you, the ultimate fan, for the love of sports.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to Nowhere on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
Nowhere on the Weekend.
The TCSF podcast with Big Z. We got JC, Dynasty Fantasy Football. Ivan is probably taking off to do the show with Big Steve. So thank you to Ivan from the Tape Never Lies for always lending a helping hand with the show. But JC, we're going to talk about our teams at the Madhouse on Madison, our Chicago Bulls. Let's start with that one.
Burn it down. Burn it down.
It is bad. It is so bad. They just lost to the Pelicans 114 to 104. Before that, they beat the Hornets, which is a surprising game. They got blown out by the Warriors, who didn't have Steph Curry. They lost to the Pacers by 15. It's been a bad week for the Bulls, who started 5-0, and people wanted to crown them. And guess what? Now they suck. They suck. And I hate to say this, but it all started when Kobe White came back. And I don't know. I'm not saying he's the reason. I'm just saying that it coincides with him coming back to the team. And it felt like the offense was disrupted, the defense was disrupted, and then you had that Vooch post game where the kids are jumping up and down. I guess they gave a big lead away, and Vooch had to bail them out at the end, and he was pissed about that. And we haven't seen Vooch since then. I don't know what's hurt. I don't know what his issue is.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You and I have talked about this. It's time to do a soft reset, if you will. We do have some players, Giddey and Buzelis to build around. But I'm not looking forward to re-signing Kobe. To me, see ya. I've heard there's interest. Was it Utah or somebody? I was reading that there's somebody very interested in Kobe. Cool, gone. See ya. Vucevic, look, I don't know what you're going to get for him. Looking at some of these, games played 24, games started 24, minutes 30.1 average, points 15.6. Look, is someone going to be interested in him? Yes. What are we going to get back in return? God only knows.
From 5 years from now. Who cares?
But
get something.
But the bottom line is, I feel like every single year we do this, roundabout game where, we constantly end up in the 9th pick or, whatever. We never end up getting, a superstar in the draft. We're always just getting by, Noah Assange. What's he been doing?
Who? Never heard of him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's hurt. He's not going to play.
But still, he's played in 2 games. I think he has a whopping 3 minutes. Whoop-de-doo. This was like your savior.
Yeah,
and granted, he's a super young kid, and I understand that. But like I said, we have fumbled the ball time and time again. We were offered picks for Caruso. We were offered picks for Lonzo. We were offered picks for, I'm sure, Vucevic over the years. We were offered a lot. Granted, yes, we got Giddey in the trade, and he has been fantastic and amazing. But again, like the rumors that we have heard over the years that we were offered a first for Lonzo, we were offered 2 firsts for Caruso or whatever. And it's like, what front office would you be in that you would not take that for those guys?
Right now, everyone is tradable except for Giddey. And that's it. Everyone else is tradable.
Really? You would trade Buzelis?
I wouldn't want to part ways with him. That he would not be like, oh, yeah, he's got to go. But if you get the right package, you're giving up on a young talent. I get that. We've done that before. But right now, you have to give something to get something. And it's kind of like what the White Sox did, trading Crochet. Yeah, I'm trading a Cy Young possible pitcher, but look at the haul I got back for a bunch of holes in my lineup. And right now, you're going to have to do that. You have to give away because the rest of the guys are all expiring contracts. You're looking at Kobe, 12.9 expiring. Io, 7.5 expiring. Vucevic, $20 million expires. Those are all rentals. You're not going to get much than a second round pick or some bad contracts coming back.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do with that?
Well, I mean, all right. So let's put it this way. What would you want for Buzelis then?
For Buzelis, you're gonna package you're gonna 3 first, because I'm gonna package Patrick Williams with that, because I want that dude gone. I want him gone. You're gonna have to take this bum with you. All right. And
that's going to limit what teams are going to be able to afford to do that.
You're going to send back a bad contract with it.
Absolutely. Like
and
1 year, $20 million veteran,
That'll be fine, because it gets rid of Patrick Williams, who still has years to go on this. I'd rather get rid of it now. Yeah. Definitely. What is he? 28, 29. That's when his it's a player option. Of course he's going to opt in. Yeah, it's bad. And again, I don't trust AK and Mark Eversley. I do not trust them to do this rebuild all over again. We've seen that they went 18 months plus without making a trade. You're not doing anything. Once Lonzo went down in your whole experiment, you didn't do anything to supplement that. Go get somebody else that can help fit in for Lonzo, and they just never did it. And they waited and waited and waited. They got nothing for him. They got nothing. So right now, the Bulls are not watchable. Not a watchable product.
Look, there's something about the front office too that, like I said, when you can't pull the trigger on when you have again, if I got offered a first for Lonzo back then, I would have freaking deuce, bro.
Bye.
See ya. But why the front office sat on their hands and thought like, oh no, he's still, we're going to keep him. Why?
That's like when we had Drummond and Philadelphia offered us 3 second-round picks, and then we just let him walk. And guess where he signed? Philadelphia. Like, you could have got something for these guys, and they just overvalue these project players. They overvalue these veterans that, hey,
it's not even that, man.
And abuse them and then get rid of them.
How many years have we drafted bigs and none of them have panned out?
Because we don't know how to develop bigs. Tyson Chandler didn't know how to develop them. Eddie Curry didn't know how to develop them. He was already, showing all-star signs. But then you had what's the other one? Yeah, Eddie Curry, Tyson Chandler, Elton Brand. Right. You're looking at those 3 guys right there. Those are all 3 bigs.
Porter goes to Milwaukee.
Larry Marketing never developed right. I mean, we can just go on and on. This is just going to be a depressing podcast. We keep talking about the Bulls. But I do want to talk about the team I'm wearing today, which is the Blackhawks. And JC, we just finished watching a game. Going to a game. I know I went to a game in was it 2 weeks ago, and got to see him play, and now he's out. So what happened?
Oh, all I know is it's a collarbone injury, and they're basically saying that they'll reevaluate in January. That as of right now, they do not believe he'll need surgery. But basically that he'll be out till January. So that's at least about 15, 16 days, which, that sounds about right. Depending on, if I don't know what the degree of the fracture or, if it was hairline, if it was full-fledged. I mean, if it was a full-fledged fracture, then and bones were completely broken, then they would have done surgery. I'm 100%. Right. So like I said, it's got to be a hairline fracture that they're hoping will, 15-day, recovery time usually. And we'll see where it goes from there. They say that they'll reevaluate in January, but that's not a good thing for the Blackhawks that are already struggling. Let's pull it up.
While you're pulling that up, he is actually, he's the leading scorer for the Blackhawks. And then I'm also looking at this, that the Olympic rosters have to be due in by the 31st of December. So if he's not playing and he's injured, he might be left off the Olympic team, which would suck because that'd be nice to have him play in the Olympics. But again, his health is definitely something we have to put up.
How does that work? Because I guess if he's unable to play, that he would be left off. But I mean, do you think that they would hold a spot for a guy that's playing the way that Bedard has played this year?
Well,
just going in looking. He's got 44 points. He is a +8, and again, 31 games played. He's got 19 goals. He's leading the Blackhawks in that. 25 assists.
Yep.
So, I mean, other than Nazar, nobody even comes close. Nazar is the closest in assists at 15, and goals. The next closest is Bertuzzi at 16. So, and then after Bertuzzi, it falls down to 8, 5, 6, 1, 8 in the way of goals scored.
Yeah.
So that is not very good in the way of, Bedard has, I don't know. Let's see. Is there a total? So there's 91 goals on the season, and
it's almost 20
of them. So
that shows you how good the kid is, man. And you know what? I want him to get fully healthy. So if he needs to be held out, hold him out. All the way through the All-Star game. Bring him back after the All-Star game, which is usually in February, right? It's usually around the same time as the NBA All-Star games. It's usually like a week or two apart. Hold him out. What's the difference if you're still losing these games? And why would you play put your player, All-Star player, at risk? Continue to lose games. Get another high draft pick. All right.
Yeah. I mean, you want to put a good product on the ice, and you want Bedard, because we keep talking about that. Bedard is coming up on contract, and I forget how many, if he's got one more year with us, or if he's up for free agency this coming year. Let's see, Bedard contract.
He's currently on a 3-year entry-level contract with the Blackhawks, signed in 2023. So he's going to go through the 25, and so goes through this season.
Right. So we so 25-26 season. So I would think that's
projected to get an
8-year,
12 to 16 million. That's what.
Well, but the bottom line is he is a restricted free agent. So, I mean, that's at least a good thing that, we can hopefully negotiate with him and get him re-signed. But you know what, dude, when you're a 20, 21-year-old kid and you're on a team like the Blackhawks that, just consistently are not a top tier team, you start to get frustrated. You start to, start to look for greener pastures, if you will, of, hey, I can go to, Tampa or Pittsburgh or whatever team, and like we could actually be a playoff contender, versus, and that would set the Blackhawks back, significantly if we lost him, especially being a, potential free agent. So, like I said, hopefully we can come to an agreement with him. Hopefully we can work that out. Because, like I said, if we lose him, that would just absolutely crush the Blackhawks and set them back, in my opinion, probably another 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, you can't lose that guy. You've got to make sure. Hopefully they get something done before the end of the season. They, get that extension done. Make sure he's getting paid, but also leave some money on the table so that way you can continue to sign free agents and other young talent. But the Blackhawks, I have way more faith in that organization to turn it around within the next 3 years rather than the Bulls of wash, rinse, repeat. It's going to be a bad thing with the Bulls. They just can't get it together, man. They just can't get it together. JC,
I'm
question for you.
well, Sorry, one thing. The nice thing is I'm just looking at cap space for next year for the Blackhawks, 54 million. So they might be buyers in free agency themselves if they really do have that much cap room next year. I mean, granted, they're when you usually have that much cap, you're losing a bunch of guys, and you got to fill those holes. But might be able to afford to purchase some good players to put with Bedard and around Bedard. So
You need somebody to protect that boy. No one should be hitting him.
I agree.
If you do, you're going to pay for it.
As it is, looks like Blackhawks still have $15 million in cap space this year to spend. So maybe they pull a trade come deadline. I've been seeing a lot of trades already popping off, via my sports apps that, constantly are pinging away.
Yep.
I've been seeing that, teams are making moves. So hopefully the Blackhawks can do something, put some more talent with Bedard before trade deadline or in the offseason with the cap space.
Let's see what the Blackhawks do. So, JC, you want some wrestling?
Let's talk some wrestling.
Talk some wrestling. Oh my goodness. So this past weekend at Saturday night's main event, the WWE put on a pretty good show. I did like the card where you had Cody and Boba Fett. I think that's his name. It's not Boba Fett. I think it's Boba Fett. Let's see. WWE Saturday night main event. There we go. What was the card? Go back. I did see, Obi Femi against Cody Rhodes. It was a really good fight, back and forth, and then you had Drew McIntyre come in and spoil it by attacking Cody Rhodes. This protects both because both are champions. Obi Femi is the champion in NXT, and Cody Rhodes is one of the champions for WWE on the main roster. So it protects both of those guys by having Drew come in and screw him over. The match was really good. End of the day, you had two baby faces going at each other, so it really makes sense to have that run in. So that was pretty cool. The Soul Ruka versus Bailey, it was a okay match, whatever. You also had two future young guys, one from NXT and one from what is that other organization? TNA, and they went against AJ and the Lucha Bro. That was a good match too. Just because anytime AJ wrestles, I want to see that. That boy, I've been watching him since he made me watch TNA wrestling. Just because he was so good. But definitely cool. But the main event was John Cena against Gunther. And I told you I'm not a fan of Gunther. I think he's boring. I think he's predictable. I think it kind of reminds me of like, if he dies, he dies. Kind of the Rocky villain, and that he's got no personality. He's drier than a 5-day-old piece of toast. The match was mid at best. Gunther even jumped off the top rope with a frog splash. That looks so ridiculous. John did get some pretty good offense in there. He, he AA'd him into the table and off the table and all that other stuff. I thought it was a decent match as far as we're looking at John's work. John had better matches in this past year, especially even when it's against AJ, even with Dom. That was a good match. But he ends up tapping out after a bunch of rolling around and false finishes. And that's how we all felt. The man that always told us never quit ended up tapping out and quitting. And that's how his last match was. Now, I'm not mad that he lost. Every wrestler that's going out, leaving the company, or you're retiring, most of them don't, you always go and you put someone over. Not mad about that. Mad that he tapped out. If your whole mantra was never quit, hustle, loyalty, and respect, you tapped out. You could have just been put to sleep. He never quit. He just went to sleep. It's cool. It's cool. I would have been happy with that than what actually happened. JC?
Listen, I was at a family dinner, and I literally hopped on a streaming site to watch the match while I was at a family dinner for Christmas. And I got to tell you, and granted, like the streaming site was in and out, and I'd have to back and restart it and everything else. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed at all whatsoever. It was a horrible booking. You know what? Triple H absolutely 100% deserved the booze and the "you fucked up" chants. Like, there was nothing spectacular. Like,
No.
Gunther he is not a good wrestler, in my opinion. Like, yeah, it's one of those, like, okay, back in the day, if you wanted to, like, the Soviet Union, Cold War, you know, whatever, you know, like, what is John Ukrainian? Like, what is the significance of this match? Why did Gunther, who barely looks like he can wrestle, what did he deserve the match for? What heat did he need? What push did he need?
He didn't need a push.
Chops people in the chest and tries to put him to sleep. That's it.
Yeah, he
has
didn't
no
need
flashy moves.
No.
He is not a high flyer. Like, it was a disservice. Like, the AJ Styles John Cena match was 1,000 times better than what they gave us last night.
Yeah. It was disappointing. Again, I thought it should have been LA Knight. It should have been LA Knight versus John Cena. You know, because LA Knight's the birth child of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. He sounds like both of them. He needs to push. How many times he's been screwed this year? Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble. He's been screwed at every single pay-per-view, and including this tournament that was supposed to be for, you know, the John Cena tournament, farewell tournament. He got screwed on that too. It's just, there's got to be a payoff for LA Knight. He's got to win the Royal Rumble.
I don't know. He has to be on somebody's shit list. I don't know what the company is doing. You know, again, you know, I'm sorry. And I know John Cena is a company guy, but if you came to me and said, hey, we're going to have you lose by tap out to a wrestler who has no mic skills, who has no personality, who has no flash, who has no pizzazz, who has nothing. And maybe that's why they put him against Gunther, is because they want Gunther to be something, but the guy has nothing to offer.
It is that. It is that. It's to make a new heel because all the heels are out. Seth Rollins is out.
Gunther,
Brock doesn't show up. You know, all the good heels are not theirs. They need another heel. And
to me, Solo Sikoa would have been a better heel to push.
I would have loved it if it would have been LA Knight as a heel. LA Knight as a heel is going to be phenomenal.
Well, like, I mean, even Drew McIntyre, they are pushing Drew McIntyre right now as a heel.
Yes.
Because, you know, right now, Drew McIntyre, his whole thing is, I keep getting overlooked. I keep getting overstepped. I keep, you know, what about me? What about me? What about me?
Right.
Like, I would have given Drew McIntyre that match.
There's a lot of guys that could have got that match. You know, I know Edge is, you know, still with AEW, so that was a no.
How about Braun Breaker? Why would you not give Braun Breaker the push?
You could have done that and had Braun Breaker just completely destroy John. Just spear after shoulder tackle, after just continue to beat the crap, just like Brock did. Because you're building Braun Breaker to be your next Brock. You could have done that.
Yeah.
You could have done that. Or, like I said, like we and you both said, you could have just made the last match where John loses the IC title to Dominic Mysterio. And that shoots Dominic Mysterio off on a rocket. And he breaks away from the Judgment Day. And now that he has Liv Morgan back, bye. See you guys later. Screw the Judgment Day. I'm gonna go win the heavyweight title now.
Look, do I think that maybe John announcing this is my final year and what, because again, I don't know how far in advance, Triple H and these guys are trying to make storylines, right? Maybe they're 2 years ahead. Maybe they're 1 year ahead. And I know that Triple H constantly says, like, you got to listen to the crowd. And, that's why Jey Uso got a push there for a while because the crowd was into it. But the bottom line is, and I know Triple H, there's a video of him out there saying, "Oh, I actually expected you guys to be louder at, booing me."
Oh, and in the post game show, yeah. Hey, again, but now he's got to take this opportunity. If he's getting booed like that, and again, I was before, I didn't want to cut you off. Gunther got escorted out. He had a police escort out of the building because they were mobbing him, and it's not his fault. He won his match. He was told what to do.
Yeah,
heat should be on Triple H. All right, cool. You're getting this heat. Come back as a Vince McMahon type character and be an asshole boss. There you go. Moneymaker. And then you put whoever your star is.
Like, I almost feel like that's not what WWE is anymore. Like, there is no
storyline. You're right. There's no storyline. There's no larger than life characters.
There's no, I'm the big bad boss. There is no, every now and again they give R-Truth some little, interview vignette in the back.
He was there. He was there on Saturday. He had a good thing. It was hilarious. You put R-Truth in front of the camera. It's hilarious.
But again, it's one of those where, like, I feel like there's no drama in the locker room anymore. Like, where, like, there used to be, like, attacks in the back and all this stuff. Like, you're literally putting wrestlers in front of a mic, in front of a camera, who have no mic skills. And then, like, you want them to verbally create a story or a beef where it's like, if they suck on the mic, have them attack somebody in the back, like the old DX days and whatever, and have that be the story. Don't put them on a mic when they're terrible.
Well,
if Gunther can't be on a mic, have him attack people in the back.
Yeah,
have him, psychological games, like the Steve Austin, where he used to drop nets. He used to spray people with milk, that was Kurt Angle, but he used to come out and spray people with beer. He'd bring a Zamboni out. He'd, all the, like, pour concrete in Mr. McMahon's limo, all the stupid antics that they used to do when me and you were kids to, create a storyline. Now it's just like, hey, this is the wrestler who's going to wrestle against this wrestler. Give him 3 minutes of a little promo and, with the announcer in the back. And it's like, there's no story.
Yeah, they've gone away from that, and it's shown lately. But again, John, like we said, is a company man. He put a lot into this year. He gave a lot of guys the opportunity to share the ring with him. I was upset that my last time seeing John wrestle live was against Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's great and everything, but I wanted a bigger match. It's Chicago. It's where his debut was against Kurt Angle with the ruthless aggression and the slap. And I wanted something better. It was like a hug fest. Like, hey, you can't go anywhere. I want you to compete for the title that you started the open challenge for. I'm like, oh, I don't want you fighting Sami Zayn. I wanted him to go against a badass, heel, and it didn't happen. So,
well, like I said, I mean, I was holding out hope like that. Okay, he's going to go against Gunther, but it's like, all right, maybe Edge shows up and attacks Gunther right before the match, and you know what I mean, like.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't going to happen. People were speculating.
You never know.
People were even speculating, oh, The Rock's going to come out after he beats Gunther and it says, you can't leave until you beat the final boss. And I
never thought The Rock would show up.
No, he sent a heartfelt message, and I was like, yeah, it's not happening. I think The Rock is like soured out right now, especially what he did not showing up to the pay-per-view, whatever it was after the WrestleMania.
Well, again, it's one of those where look, I understand. Like, listen, when The Rock shows up, it throws everything in chaos, right? Because The Rock wants this, and Triple H and them have been building this storyline for blah blah blah. So it's like, how do we fit you in? And it's like, and I understand Triple H being like, dude, just stay out. Like, I understand you're the owner, you're part of TKO, you're whatever, but just stay out of it. Like, if we can come up with a storyline that'll work, that we can push over a 6-month period, rather than working you in a, oh my God, he can actually show up for this one. Okay, let's scramble and figure out how to fit him in.
Like the old ways with WWE. I mean, the thing is that, Vince made that seem seamless, even though it was a lot of chaos and then rewriting up to the last minute, up to, Showtime. There's stuff being rewritten. But it's cyclical. So cyclical. I can never say that word. Everything goes in a cycle when it comes to wrestling, right? And we're kind of going into more of, these guys are given. Some guys are given bullet points of what they need to say. Their character needs to say. CM Punk can go to Triple H and say, I don't want to read this. And then Triple H will be like, well, cut your own fucking promo then. Go ahead, go. I can trust you with the mic because you have the gift of gab. Paul Heyman can talk for an hour and I'd be like, this promo's great because Paul Heyman is captivating. That's why he starts off a show usually and goes for 15 minutes on a segment for himself. Guys that can do that. The Miz can do that. John Cena has time and time again blown motherfuckers out of the ring when it comes to mic work. I remember the one where he made fun of The Rock for having the promo written on his wrist. The one with Roman Reigns, where he's like, oh, go ahead, take your time. It'll come back to you. And literally shut him down. Made him break character. John Cena on the mic would literally say, don't tell me what you're going to say. I'm just going to react to what you're going to say. And is there anything we can't talk about? All right, cool. Do what you got to do. Say whatever you want to say about me. I'm just going to respond to you. Because John Cena can freestyle. That's how good he was.
Yeah.
So,
well, again, the entire year, the whole whatever, it was such a disservice and a dishonor. Like I said, when you look back at things, like, to me, like the HBK retirement of Ric Flair, like that to me that is the pinnacle of how to send a legend off. Like, yeah, I don't care that John lost, right? It's the opponent that you had him face.
Yes.
To me, was a absolute disservice.
You could have brought anybody that he's wrestled in the last 23 years with a bigger name than Gunther. There have been so many. And then also, why wasn't it Randy Orton to send them off? The only guy there left. I don't care that they already had their match. You have him, RKO, Gunther on top of a car or something, send Gunther off again. Boom, RKO. I am going to put John down for one last time. You don't need to write a storyline. Those guys have been battling for 20-something years.
Yeah.
25.
Like I said, again, Roman Reigns, like, again, Solo Sikoa. He's the quote-unquote family leader of the tribal chief now, where Roman Reigns is not. You have these heels that are like mid-card that need to be pushed as a main card. And it's one of those where, yes, Seth Rollins. Okay, but Seth is out right now.
Yep, Seth is out. He was at the Bears.
So who else? Other than Seth, like I said, Drew McIntyre. Granted, I don't know how it works between SmackDown, Raw, all that stuff anymore. Like, why Drew wasn't, and I understand Drew's in a whole
A lot of these guys are in different storylines at the moment. So
right.
It kind of eats away.
Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I understand, like, I'm in a storyline with CM Punk right now, but guess what? I'm going to go put boots and asses and destroy John Cena so that I can show you I deserve my shot against Punk. You know what I mean? Like, and you just dominate and then say, do I get my shot now against CM? You know what I mean? Like,
You definitely could have done that.
Again, I don't care that John lost. I don't care that John tapped. I don't care about any of that.
I do care that he tapped.
Opponent.
I cared that it was that he tapped. It could have been a better opponent. It could have been Obafemi, the guy, the NXT champion. That dude is huge. He is huge. He can wrestle. He's different. He's the
again for me. It's just and the sleeper hold, really, dude. The sleeper hold hasn't worked since like before Hogan.
Yeah.
Like the sleeper hold was a carnival gimmick from like the 30s and 40s and 50s.
And it's funny because he smiles right before he taps out. I was like, nah, dude, come on.
It's just the saddest thing ever. It's like, and I understand, like, you know what? All these old heads can be like, oh, it's a throwback. I don't care. Like, listen, Bret Hart was a technical wrestler.
He was so smooth.
But he made it look awesome.
Yes.
Eddie Guerrero. I don't want to say his name out loud, but Eddie Guerrero's best friend,
CB,
was a technical wrestler.
You could say his name. You can separate the artist from the person.
Correct.
We know what the person did, but the artist,
yes.
Chris Benoit, was phenomenal.
Yeah. And again, Chris Benoit, I'll be honest, he was one of my favorite wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, hands down, one of my favorite wrestlers. And I always wanted him to get the push. I always wanted him to be champion. You know, it was one of those, him and Eddie Guerrero were absolutely dynamite together because they could just put on a fantastic show.
Yep.
And it's one of those where you look at, I keep looking at today's roster, and, you know, again, I look at the roster as you have 40 mid-card guys and 2 main card guys.
You got CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, top tier.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
Seth.
Roman Reigns.
Seth.
Seth. Okay, wait, hold on. This is WWE champions. Where's the rest of the damn thing? NXT champion. Oh, this is just the champions. Current. There we go. All right, there we go. We got all these people. We got AJ Styles, top tier. You're looking at.
I don't see him as champion. Don't get me wrong; he can get his pushes here and there.
He's retiring next year too. So,
but again, I don't see him as the main event draw. That Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, like again, I see him as upper mid tier.
Upper mid tier. Okay. Brock Lesnar, part timer, right?
Absolutely, championship level.
Yes,
belt, deserving of a championship belt.
Yeah. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest.
No.
Okay.
I think he, if he polishes up his stuff, he could be, because he could be like the Kevin Nash, if you will.
I think he needs a character change. Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah. I think he can be the Kevin Nash, but it's one of those, like, they keep trying to push him like almost as a heel with the what's the faction that he's no longer a part of, Judgment Day. Like, they were trying to push him as a heel, but I really feel like Damian Priest is more of a baby face than a heel.
Yeah. Definitely more of a baby face.
Like, and look, you can be gothic punk rock and still be a baby face. All right.
Yeah.
But with your personality. Again, I just never, with his personality, I never really saw him as a true villainous heel. Again, I would put him mid card to upper mid with again with a slight change in his gimmick. he could become a top card because he has the physical, like the body type that, you know, wrestling likes to push as a champion. But same thing. Dominic Mysterio, upper mid. It's one of those, like, I watched Dominic wrestle and it's like fantastic on the mic, but his wrestling keeps him, in my opinion, in the mid card. If he can improve his wrestling, even say like 10%, I think he can move up into the upper tier.
Yeah, got to give these guys time. And again, it's there's a bunch of guys on here that now that you're saying it, like, yeah, lots of good, but not great guys. Lots of good, not so much there. Or guys that are, you know, at the end of their career or getting close to it. That
and that's the problem I see is like, okay, Braun Breaker is up and coming. Like, he's going to be the guy. Like, once Brock leaves, once, you know, all these guys leave, he's going to be the guy for the next 10, 15 years. Right.
Yeah.
And I was listening to, I forget who it was, talking about, you know, that there's 200 people in WWE's developmental. Then there's 100 people in NXT. Then there's 50 people in, you know, and like I said, they basically said that of the 200 people that are in development, you may get one.
Yeah.
That will make it to the main card. And then that one guy may only be there for 4 years.
Yeah.
That the likelihood that they're going to be the next John Cena and be there for 20 years is very low. No, and the problem I have is that right now, with the crap storylines, with the product they're putting out there, like, AEW has a chance right now to make an argument that, like, no, WWE has fallen off.
I can't. I try watching AEW. I really do. I've tried it at least once a month, and I was like, it just doesn't look. The production doesn't look great, and then it's a bunch of guys who left WWE.
They have some talented guys there. Darby Allin is a talent. Like, some of the guys they have there, like, especially the high flyers, like, they're talented guys. And it's one of those where it's like, you know, Kenny Omega, I think, unfortunately, is a little past his prime. Chris Jericho, as the heel, was a little past his prime. You know, I understand Cody Rhodes was there. You know, I've had this conversation with you that, you know, personally, I don't think Cody is, you know, I understand he is a championship belt holder, but it's one of those where it's like, I
can't wait for his heel turn. That's going to be phenomenal. And that's coming next year. It has to come next year. He can't be the next John Cena, complete babyface your whole career. No, you got to flip him. He's got to be a heel. So, well, you know, wrestling
at the same time, it's you know, are there enough baby faces?
Yeah, there's tons of babyface. Babyface, there's plenty. There's plenty that can carry a company. No.
But that's the problem. Is there?
Well, you
right now, Cody is holding the company.
Yeah, but I mean, Dom can be easily switched to a babyface. Jacob Fatu is hurt.
Dom is such a good heel that I just like. Yeah, for shock value, turning him babyface would be.
He's at that point where they love him now. He doesn't, you know, they let him talk on the mic, so he's getting a lot of
they love him because he, you know, it's the whole Eddie Guerrero nostalgia. You know, it's the, you know, the lying, cheating, stealing. You know, that's the heel thing. So what? Like, I don't see him ever stopping from doing the lying, cheating, and stealing gimmick.
No, it's always gonna happen. All right, JC, it is that time. It is that time to go home. I know. Did you eat already?
I ate already. Yep.
Well, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna put some. I have some jewel chicken. Put that in a microwave and have a good meal. All right, y'all. That is it for today. Thank you to our fans for listening, for watching, for subscribing and supporting. Thank you for 200 and what is this? 278. Wow. Thank you to our sponsors, 66 Media and True Chicago Sports Fans. Check us out on the socials, True Chicago Sports Fans, everywhere across. TCSF Pod on the X. If you want to email us about anything, truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. And for JC and Ivan, I am Big Z, and we'll see you next time for episode 279. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.